let's look at how to do white lilies. White by itself looks very flat. Okay, so you have to add some sort of color to it to get some depth and dimension, but you don't want to overpower it either. So there's a couple of different colors that we use to do that. I'm going to bring my camera over here now and get going with this. I have right here, when I was talking about how to shade the white, I'm using a very limey green. And this is taken from a photograph as well. I looked up white lilies. And so you can use things like green, yellow, gray, pale blue, but they have to be kind of a pale tone, okay? So the white lilies that I found mostly for springtime used a pale green or a pale yellow as their accent color, okay? So this is what I'm going to be sharing with you tonight. So I'm going to put out my colors on my double loader here. We're going to need, of course, some wicker white. Okay, and some lime green. Okay, maybe just a touch more. I don't want to waste it, but I don't want to be without enough. All right, and then sap green for our darker green color for the leaves. Just a touch more. All right, and then we have some yellow ochre. That is what goes on these little stamen tips right here. Okay, so I'm just going to put a little bit of that over here. I need to shake my bottles down before I get them. All right, so those are our 4 colors that we're working with, and then I'm going to put some floating medium here in the middle since I'm on paper. Okay, so let me just set this to the side. Now I'm going to do this on black paper. I hope it's not going to make my camera go too wonky on me. All right. Yeah, there's all kinds of glare and flare and weirdness happening here. You come in here with this and then it's fine. It's that white balance. Okay, so I'm going to take my 16 flat, and the first thing we're going to do is get our leaves and stems in place. And then we will start adding the throat. I did a side view as well as a facing view, kind of a downward facing view. Okay, so my 16 flat, I'm going to come right in here and load with all lime green. I was going to say citrus, but it's lime. Okay, so all lime green, and then I'm going to come right over here and side stroke some sap. All right, and work that in. Medium. I'm going to get plenty of color here on my brush with medium. Now I'm going to get a touch of white on my lime green edge. All right, and we're good to go. Okay, so these have long, slender leaves, and then we have the stem. So I'm just for placement, I'm going to show you where this is going to happen. So this is going to be the stem for the head of my lily. And then there'll be another stem for the one that's facing down right here, okay? And then the leaves will go in. So that's just for placement. I'm going to stroke them nicely in just a second. All right, so you're going to start out, I'm going to lead with my dark color on this. And actually I want to be over here. We're going to stroke up. Oops, my hand's right in the way. Let's bring this over a little bit and cock it down. There we go. Okay. Let's start that again. So we're going to slide up to a tip, stand on the chisel, reverse direction, and bring that back down. Okay. So I'm rotating the left side of my brush and keeping that light green edge. There we go. Up here. All right, so just kind of working those together. Ooh, that was really driving my focus crazy there, wasn't it? Okay, so next, let me actually, I want to bring this dark green out a little further. There we go. And then back down. That's better. All right, side load a little bit of white, and I'm going to lighten up this edge, keeping that left edge dark. Okay, now we have another leaf that comes and kind of flops over this way. So light color up, I'm going to stroke on the chisel and then push hard. Bring it forward like this, and then see I ran out of paint there. Paper will suck up your paint. There's no magic paint paper out there. It's just enough paint and medium. Okay, so then you can go back and forth here. There we go. Okay. So we have our leaf. And it looks nice if you can slide back like that just to kind of smooth that out. You can even bring from this edge here, right? You come out like this and then bring it back with the light green on the bottom edge slightly to give it a little light edge down there, okay? But primarily your light edge is up here. Okay, so now let me get more of my color and a little white on the lime green. So here's my stem. Now the stem, if you look, has, it's kind of a bent or a broken, not broken, but there's a hard edge right there, and then the trumpet goes this way. So the stem comes down and then the lily folds over. So I'm going to put my stem in. Now it's going to come up in front of my leaf. So I'm on the chisel, light color is up. I'm going to come right about there. Okay, so just little angle so that it's not too narrow. Oops, I'm sorry. Let's bring this down a little better here. There we go. I don't like to have it tip too far to the right because then you get the glare from the light. All right, so now I'm going to turn the brush with the dark edge up, and right here I'm going to make that little hard edge where it bends and comes down. See there? A little camera challenge tonight. Okay, and then from this point is where the trumpet back comes out. All right, but before I do that, I don't want to lose my color yet. I want to do this other stem that's going to come, and it's going to come behind the facing flower. So I'm not too concerned about the bent part of it or whatever. It's just placement at that point, okay? All right, so then if I want to bring my leaf back over the top of that, I can do it just like that. Okay, so now I'm ready to do my trumpet. I want to wipe my brush off on my paper towel, and I'm going to get all white right here with that green. Okay, so it's all white, and then I'm going to grab some citrus green on the corner and work that into one side of my brush. All right, so I've just got a pale green right now on here. So I'm going to come up here and stroke up and create this trumpet of this pale green. This is the back throat of the flower. Okay. I can get a little bit of sap green on my chisel edge, and right in here I can pull a few little veins or shadows like that, just on the chisel edge of my brush. Okay, now wiping that brush off, actually cleaning that brush because I don't want any green in it now. Okay, I'm going to pick up all white on my brush and work that in. I want a lot of white. Okay, a lot of white. All that white, and then I'm going to get some citrus green on one edge and come over here and work this in. So it's a pale green on one corner again, but I've got pure white on the other edge. Medium to help it move, and I'm ready to go. Okay, so for guide, right, we've got petals that are coming, everything comes from the center. You've got a petal coming here, here, one that's folding over this way, and then this one folds this way, one more there, and then this one comes right in front, right there. All right, so you're going to start with the ones that are in the back and then layer them. So this one and this one are back the most, and then this one is over the top, that one's over the top, etc., etc. White to the outside edge. I'm going to come right from the throat of that trumpet, push, and slide to the tip with a curve. See that? And then from that tip, with the white back to the outside, I'm going to come right on back to that center. Okay. Now with the black paper, it's going to kind of show some of that. So if you don't have enough white on your brush, you can come back and get more. There we go. Just kind of black that out, or block that out. Okay. So now the next one is going to be, this one's going to come over the front of that. And so what I want to do to get the rolled stroke or the folded stroke, you've got to come with your brush angled this way. White comes out. You're going to come up to the tip, stand on the chisel, reverse direction, roll the white over, and come back in. Let me get some fresh white, and we're going to come from here, roll it over, and stand in the center. So every stroke starts and ends in the center of the flower. All right, so then the next one is going to be this one that comes out and comes back in. Now this one, I want you to see, the tip of the petal isn't visible. It's folded over the, and you can't, it's behind the petal front. Okay, so you're really creating kind of a hard edge right there. So I'm going to come with my white out and create that hard edge. It dips down in the middle and then back out, and then push really hard and slide back into the center. Okay, so you get that pale green center and then all this white. In, out, in, and slide back in. Okay. All right, so keep picking up fresh white. And then we're going to do the next petal. It's going to come out this way. And we're going to twist it around like that. All right, now I'm going to take my 6 flap before I go any further. And right in here, I'm going to make a little curl like that. Just a little 6 flat. Okay. And then from halfway in the curl, I'm going to stroke up and back to the center of the flower. Okay. So I need to bring that out just a little bit further. This is a curl that's coming from behind, right there. Okay. And then this comes out like this and back like that. And we're going to shade in there, so that'll help that show up between the front and back of that curl. Okay. All right, so then we have this one that's coming this way. All right, so I can come, again, let's turn the paper out, stand on that chisel, reverse, push hard, and stand up. Everything comes back to that center of the flower. All right, now the one where it's folding towards you, this can be a little tricky, but here's what you want to do. Again, it's got to have this hard line, and the hard line comes straight across here like that. All right, so you're going to have the white to the top edge, and you're going to bring it forward towards the trumpet, a little bit of a wiggle, round that edge, and come back out to here. And when you get here, stand on that chisel, and you can do a little slide in to create that hard edge, okay? And then it'll look like the petal is folded out and facing towards you. Okay, so that's that flower. Now, I want to share with you how to do the facing one too, and then we'll put the stamens on both, okay? So this one down here, it's facing down a little bit, but mostly towards you. All right, so here is the center. All right, so this first stroke is going to go up, stand, and come back into the center, just like that. All right, this one's going to come out, curve, reverse. Oops, I need more paint. Let's do that again. Out, reverse stroke, come back, and stand. I keep trying to find a good way that's not a glare. Right there. All right, this one here, let's turn it, because we're going to come this way, stand up, reverse, and then we're going to roll that brush again. So we're going to roll it this way forward and come back into the center of the flower. All right, and now I'm going to fix this one a little bit so that it comes over the front of those. Okay, 3 more. So we're going to do this one here. Is going to come out, reverse, and push hard back to the center. More white. There we go. I hate to use floating medium on this black paper because that makes the paint too thin. Okay, 2 more. We're going to come forward, stand, reverse, direction, and back in. And then we have this one in the front here. All right, so this one here, you're going to come from right in that center. It's going to overlap, reverse, push hard, and stand up. Okay, so that's the basic shape. Now, what I liked about this one was this petal here was more flat. Like it was folded up and the face was down. Okay, so you can do just like we did with that one. You can make that more flat by just giving a hard edge right in there. All right, so those are the flowers. Now, before we do our stamens, we want to do a little bit of shading. So cleaning that brush, I'm going to go to a 12 flat now, and I'm going to get some medium on that brush and side stroke a little bit of sap green. All right, and so what we want to do now is we can come and kind of emphasize the separation between our stems and our leaves and cast a little shadow there. All right, and do the same thing down here. Just that little bit of dark. Let's get a little bit darker. That's a little weak. There we go. Will help divide those different stems. So right in there, right down here, and I want to strengthen that right there. And you can do a little shading down the left side or right side of that stem. Okay. You can do a little shading up this leaf. And right, whoops, don't get white. Along that back edge of that petal. All right, just to help some things stand out a little better. And I got a little too overrun there. All right, now I'm going to get a little bit of the lime green in with the sap, just to lighten that up slightly. And I'm going to come right underneath this petal here and shade to help that stand out a little better against the throat. Okay. Now you can also come in, but I don't want that dark green. We want to just come in with some stronger lime green and medium. So I'm just going to do the same thing but with lime, side loaded on my brush, and I can come right up underneath here, and I can come right between these petals here, and even down the center. Okay, just a little separation or shading to create that separation, I should say. All right, and then same thing up here. You can come right along this line. That will help that be a little bit deeper. And then maybe pull out, get a little bit more, pull out some of that lime green color from the center. Create the shading between this petal and that one, and this one, and we'll pull a little bit down out of the center of each of these petals here. Okay, so just that little bit of shading will help all those petals stand out, but the white is still white. Now, if you feel like you've lost the depth of your white, or the strength of your white, you can come in with whatever brush you need. This is a number 2 script liner, and you can give it some pretty little wavy edges to strengthen those edges. Some of these have those kind of little frilly, lacy edges, all right? And then here we can define this a little stronger with the white. Okay, and pull that back. Oh, and I didn't do that shading I said I was going to do, so let's do that. Let me see. That lime green, and we're going to come right in here and shade that curl in the back, okay? So that'll help that look like it's behind. Then when you put the white here, it will be stronger. Okay? There we go. All right, so wiping off that brush, I'm just going to pick up some, I'm going to streak my brush through some lime green and a little bit of sap. That's a lot. That's even more. Oh my goodness. Let's try that again. Lime green and streak through some sap. There we go. All right, just so we don't have flat looking stamens. And you can add a little water if you feel like you need it, but it's better, I think, if these are a little bit thicker. Okay, so these come out and then they do a little bend up like that. Okay, so they can come down slightly and do that little bend up. It's like they're reaching for the sun. And I got a little too much of that sap green on there, so I'm going to wipe off some of it. And let's brighten that one up. Maybe add a little white. Okay, so there's usually 6 or so of these. And they kind of overlap each other like that. And then down here, they're going to come down. So they're more straight. And then they can take a little bend. I need a little bit of dark in there. The sap is so strong. Maybe classic green would have been better. Okay, so now we're ready for our stamens tips, right? So I'm going to wipe that brush off and I'm just going to grab some yellow ochre on the tip. And it's just a little comma at the end of each of these stamens. So you touch and stroke a little curl or a comma stroke. Pull it down like that. Okay. And then the same thing on these. Now these can kind of go all sorts of cattywampus because of the angle of the stamens down here. Just like that. Okay. And there you have your white lilies. There. Now the camera is happy again. All right, so this is what the example was. And then that's what the painting demo was. So I hope you enjoyed that. I hope that helped you get a better idea of how it is quick and easy it is to do some lilies. You can do them in all kinds of different colors. They come different varieties and things. So I hope you enjoyed that.